So similar to Google Docs, Google Slides has some of the same features, but it's a presentation software similar to Microsoft PowerPoint, which some of you may or may not be familiar with. So to get into Google Slides, you are going to do the same thing that is similar to Google Docs. You'll click on the waffle in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll click on Slides. And again, we have the blank option, or we have several templates that we can choose from. You're also going to have template options when you actually go into a blank document for Google Slides. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that multicolored plus symbol again. And now I have a Google slide. So if you notice on the right-hand corner of your screen, there is a column, and this is the themes that you can choose for your Google Slides. And there's several themes that you can choose. And additionally, students can create their own themes. I'm not going to dive into quite creating your own theme today, but we can choose any one of these that's most desirable to you or your student. We'll go ahead and click on this one. And I have created my theme for my Google slide. I no longer need to be in this portion of the screen, so I'm going to X out of that. And now we are in the editing portion of Google Slides. First thing we need to do is title our slide. And I'm going to be super simple, and I'm just going to say title. All righty. Okay, so just like Google Docs, we title it the same exact way. Okay, so just like Google Docs too, is we have this toolbar up here at the top, and it is almost exactly like Google Docs. There may be a couple different things, like we have the shapes, inserting lines, we have the same thing inserting images and inserting text boxes. But again, we also can use these drop-down menus here at the top. But I like to use the toolbar. It's the simplest and most easy way to use Google Slides. So we've selected our theme, and now we're going to look at this left-hand column over here. This is really important when we're editing. If you notice, I only have one slide right here. So if I would like to add an additional slide, I can do that by right-clicking on our mouse, and I can click on New Slide, and it creates a new slide for me. If I don't want to use that slide, I can actually skip that slide, but we don't really need to use that right now. That is one option. Maybe I want to duplicate the same slide. Maybe I don't like the background. I can change the background color of the slide. We have gradient. Let's make it nice, pretty yellow. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it's super simple to change the format of these slides. Maybe I don't like the layout of the slide. That's another feature that we can use in this editing stage of Google Slides. Maybe I need 2 columns for my text. Okay, very, very simple. You can make it your own and make it as, what word am I trying to say here? You can make it as complicated and artful as you choose to, okay? But it's very easy to use, I promise. Another feature, maybe I don't like the order of my slides, and all I need to do is click on the slide, and I can click and drag it to the position that I prefer for my presentation. Your students will use Google Slides in class, but your teachers also like to use this to create assignments for students also, and for their presentations. So they may have different directions on each slide and may have different steps created for an assignment they need to complete. All right, so let's look at this blank slide that we have right here. And if you notice, we have 2 different text boxes. Maybe I need to add a text box. Maybe I need 3 text boxes. So let's go ahead and add a text box. We'll click on this text box up here at the very top. And then I will click down here at the bottom, and easy peasy, I've created that new text box. And now I have 3 text boxes on my Google slide. So you can create as many text boxes as you need. Additionally, same thing as Google Docs, you can insert an image. using the insert feature through Google Drive, Google Photos, upload from the computer, or you can search on the web. You also can use that famous Explore button down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So why don't we go ahead and use that Explore button again? And if you notice, even in Explore for Google Slides, they will suggest layouts for you, for your theme, for your Google Slides. You can use this or choose not to, it's up to you. But we're going to use it to, let's have that photosynthesis and see what comes up. So if you notice, maybe I want to insert a web link. I'm doing some research for a science project and I need to incorporate photosynthesis. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this Britannica. And it's taken us to the Britannica page that they suggested in Google Explorer. And I want to link this into our Google Slides. So I'm going to go up here to the URL bar up here at the top. I'm going to left click, then right click to copy the URL. And then I'm going to click back to the tab to insert our link. So if I put my cursor on the Google slide where I'd like to insert the link, I will right click, link. I'm going to type photosynthesis here. Now I'm going to insert my link. And now I've created an interactive document in our Google slide. So if you are presenting or if you have a teacher that you would like to access this link, all they have to do is scroll over this, and now this is going to take us directly to that link that we looked at and we researched in Google Explorer. All right, so kind of went over Google Slides real quick. As you can see, it's very similar to Google Docs, just a couple little changes. Do we have any questions at this time about Google Slides?
I have a question, Stephanie.
Okay.
This is what a presentation will look like for, is that what our presentation is going to look like for an audience? Because there's a lot of extra information on the screen that I don't believe I want my audience to see if it were my presentation.
Okay. Absolutely, yes. So no, right now we're in the editing portion of Google Slides. So that's a really good question, is how do we make this present mode like we're sharing with you today? Because everything that we're sharing with you today has been created on Google Slides. So what I need to do is to put this in Google, in present mode, is actually just go up here to the upper right-hand corner of my slide screen, click present. And if you notice, now all of that extra information is gone. We're not in the editing portion of Google Slides anymore. And whoever's presenting, you just need to click the arrow buttons on your keyboard, or you can use your mouse to click back and forth between the different slides. Super easy. But if you notice on the page, there's nothing on there now. So how do I exit out of this? All you need to do is press the escape button on your keyboard, and now you are out of, you're back in the editing mode of Google Slides. So any additional questions? Looks like we might have one.
Yeah, we've got one in the chat.
Does my child have to put her name on her Google work for her teacher to know it is her work? Ooh, that is a very good question. No, they do not. Because what will happen is when it is shared with the teacher, it'll automatically have the student's name on the assignment, whether it's assigned in Google Classroom or whether the student creates the assignment themselves. But if they want to be double safe, absolutely put your name. It's a good habit to be in, to put your name on that document. Because, you know, hopefully we're going back and forth from being submitting things digitally and still things on paper too. We still have to practice putting our names on the upper right-hand corner, right? So
I mean, Stephanie, how much time did you spend when you taught middle school trying to track down whose papers, the no-name papers? That was a big struggle for me.
It is always, you know, and you always have that corner in your room where it says, who owns me? And then you have all these papers stapled up to the wall, and it breaks your heart. It would break my heart, because it's like they did it and they're not getting credit for it. So absolutely, you want to make sure to be safe, I would go ahead and put your name on it though. Okay, so now I have reviewed Google Docs and Google Slides with you. I'm going to stop sharing. And I hope this was some information for you to help your student out at home, or even you can use this at home yourself.